Welcome everybody to Make 2018 Your Best Year Ever, presented by Michelle Hamelin. This is an Avanti Women free webinar, part of our Learning Calendar series. And for those who might not be too familiar with Avanti Women, we are GTA and beyond, a leading resource for women in both professional and personal development. And professional and personal development in mentoring, networking events, different type of learning opportunities, including this free webinar series. Michelle is one of our guest speakers and has lots of experience as a coach and a consultant, also with years of corporate experience. But I think what I found most interesting is I've spent a lot of time looking at the topic of goal setting as we move into January. And the process that Michelle will be presenting gives an additional layer. And I really think that this additional layer contributes more to the success of goal setting. It was a bit of an aha moment for me. So with no further ado, I will turn it over to Michelle and she can give you more details about herself.
Excellent. Thanks, Susie. Yes, I'm Michelle. And before we get started, I wanted to thank Avanti Women for hosting this webinar series and inviting me to present today. I think that people are showing up today in this webinar are really high achievers. They're people who are raring to go and they want to set themselves up for the best possible 2018. And let me tell you, you're in the right place to kick it off. Now, a little bit about me. I know Susie's already mentioned stuff. In addition to 20 years working corporate, I am a mom of twins. I have a dog that we adopted through the dog rescue that I work with. And I, until about 2 months ago, was a soccer mom. Well, I'm still soccer mom, but I was a manager for the soccer team as well. And lastly, I'm one of the mentors for Avanti Women. So there's an opportunity to sign up for mentorship with Avanti Women, and I am one of the people there. So Susie's going to be monitoring the chat box to make sure that if there's any questions, I can answer them on the fly, and we'll do that. We have about 40 minutes plus question time, so some of the questions may have to wait till the end. I recommend that you get your pen and notepad ready, and let's get started. Now, welcome, and I look forward to enjoying our time together as you're making yourself a priority this year. So on a high level, here are the 7 steps that we're going to be covering in today's webinar. First one is clarify your priorities, then write your SMART goals, aim for discomfort, which I always find interesting every time I talk about it. Build in motivation, narrow your focus, determine next steps, track your progress, and I should say don't kill yourself writing this down because we're going to go through each one of these steps in pretty deep detail. Also, something you might have seen in the marketing, we're going to be covering a single strategy that will instantly make you 42% more likely to accomplish your goals. We're going to cover some dimensions to consider when writing your goals, the beliefs you may have that are holding you back from getting bigger results, and how to set SMART goals to help keep yourself motivated when you're feeling stuck. So, here's my favorite quote from Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So when you're goal setting, if you don't actually set goals, it's almost like you're wandering around in a boat without a sail and a rudder. You can end up anywhere. But if you actually have a destination in mind, you're more likely to arrive. Now, have you ever felt stuck? You know, like you're spinning your wheels and you can't get any traction no matter how hard you try. Maybe you had a weight loss goal and you want to eat well, exercise regularly, drink more water, all those things that you should be doing, sleep at night, you know, stuff. but somehow you have sabotaged your efforts. You have a busy workload, so you miss your gym time. Like Susie's been going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, which kills me. I don't know if I could do that, but I used to. So clearly I need to make myself more of a priority. Another thing that that we tend to do when we sabotage ourselves is, there's cake in the conference room after somebody's singing. Everybody pops in and grabs whatever's left to eat. Maybe you have a relationship goal. You want to improve the level of intimacy with your spouse or significant other, or you want to have a better relationship with your kids, or maybe you want to just recapture something that you used to have. Or you have a business goal. You have a dream of getting a promotion or starting a business or getting your business to a higher level of success. There's so many areas and then we just kind of disappoint ourselves by not setting a goal or setting one and failing to achieve it. And then we've all experienced the fear of even just trying again after so many failures. But if you're cynical about setting a new round of goals for 2018, you're not alone. Because like everybody, we'll start off the year with the best intentions, but sometimes the progress does come to a stop. So here's something I want to point out to you. If you set another round of goals, you may not achieve them. Certainly, there are many factors you can't control, and that's why it's more important to take responsibility for the elements that are in your control. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey talks about the circle of concern and the circle of influence. So when you look at the circle of concern, you have less focus and energy on the circle of influence. It takes up all your energy. But when you work on the circle of influence, over which those are the things over which you have control, your circle of influence actually expands. So you spend your energy only on what is effective, and you have the power to keep your life and your business moving forward. You just need a strategy. And that's why we're going to go through the 7 major steps to conquer your goals. So what goals should you set? And that's step 1. Clarify your priorities. Now here's 3 questions you can write down that you can consider. At the end of your life, what do you want to have achieved? Or say, hey, wow, look what I accomplished. Or, what will you regret not doing? Maybe it's travel, maybe it's painting, big hobbies, or even career. What will matter most to you? I mean, for most people, you start with health and important relationships, making a difference, having an impact, those kinds of things. What matters most to you? And when you're setting goals, one of the major mistakes people make is having tunnel vision. They only set goals in one area of their lives. So how many times have you made a list of 10 goals and it's filled with only career or business? But you didn't get around to including your health or your important relationships. Remember that your relationships at home impact the energy you bring to your work or business, and vice versa. Your physical health impacts on your work and your capacity to take on an aspirational project like writing a book. And in order to be effective, our goals need to address the various aspects of your life. So here's some components to think about, and you might want to write these ones down. So the first one, important relationships. I've said this a couple of times. These are your love relationships, whether you're single and living in a relationship, or desiring a relationship. It includes your family life too, so whether it's your spouse, children, parents, or siblings, or even, your best friend who's really family too. But then, friendships. So how strong is your support network? For example, you have at least 5 people who have your back and who you love having around. Another dimension to look at is adventures. How much time do you get to do the things you love, whether it's travel, experiencing the world, or doing the things that open you up to new experiences and excitement? environment. And, well, the planet is part of it, but really, start local. This is the quality of your home, your car, your work, the spaces where you spend your time. Four more dimensions. There's 12. So here's 5 through 8. Health and fitness. Are you where you want to be when it comes to health and fitness? Intellectual life. Are you learning and growing? How many books do you read? I have a coach, and she says read half an hour a day in your area of expertise, and you'll be further ahead than anybody you know by the end of the year. How many seminars do you attend? Remember that education doesn't end once you graduate. Now, skills. Are you improving the skills you have for your career? Do you have skills that make you unique? Are you growing towards mastery, or are you just stagnating? And spiritual life. Now, for many, spiritual life includes a relationship with their God, and it could also include meditation or yoga practices that keep you balanced and peaceful. And the last 4, finances. Are they where you want them to be, or are you living month to month? How much do you have saved for a rainy day? Are you saving for retirement? Career business. Are you growing, climbing the ladder, and excelling, or do you feel you're stuck in a rut? Is your business thriving, or is it stagnating? Your creative life. Do you paint or write or play a musical instrument? Or do you take photographs? Do you have any channel that helps you explore your creativity? And then lastly, community contributions. So are you giving, contributing, or playing any role in your community? So these are mine. I kind of like them. I'm a little attached to them. But if you have different ideas or wording for what's important to you and the elements that define who you are and want to be, then by all means use those. That's perfectly fantastic. I'm just giving you mine to help you jumpstart the process. Now, you don't have to have goals on all 12 of these dimensions, but you need to be aware of how the aspects will be impacted by your goals in different areas. So if you decide to create goals across all 12, don't be surprised if you find that things are starting to shift, because you're tapping into the power of your subconscious, and opportunities that were right under your nose will now start being noticed. And this brings us to your first action item. List 7 to 10 of your top priorities. And we're going to pause for just a minute, maybe 2, while you jot down a couple just to get yourself started. Like I said, you don't have to cover all of the components, but do make sure you have something that addresses your business or career, or something that addresses your important relationships. So I'll just pause for a moment here while you get your thoughts together. Pivot. Now I'm going to give you an example of how to write your goals. So get into writing SMART goals. So there's several key qualities that make a goal SMART. They must be specific, measurable, actionable. Now some people say achievable, but I like actionable. Realistic, and time-bound. So specific. The more specific you are, the easier your goal is to start, work towards, and achieve. Have you ever struggled to get started because your goal is too fuzzy? Get clear here. What are the outcomes that you're looking for? What results do you want? Measurable. A measure lets you know that you've achieved your goal. Like, how do you know when you're done? How would you track your progress? So when you measure, it can be a financial amount, a count, a percentage, whatever makes it meaningful and trackable. Actionable. So these are goals that are within your control. So that's why I use actionable instead of achievable. If you can take action, then it's in your control, and you can make it happen. So winning the lottery isn't a SMART goal because, the odds are really not in your favor. But if you can start and complete a goal yourself, then it's definitely actionable. Realistic. It's important to feel good about your goals. But they need to be challenging enough to inspire, and you need to believe that you can actually achieve it. So what's reasonable with the commitments that you have? Give your lifestyle, adjust the goal so it's inspiring and achievable. And then time-bound. We all work toward deadlines. That's just how it is. So goals motivate us, giving us a date to aim at and plan towards. So is there a specific date you're aiming towards? And if not, what might be realistic? Consider your lifestyle and other responsibilities that could get in the way. And here's an example. One of my clients has a starting goal of getting more sales. Now, it doesn't meet any of the specific measurable actions, like how much sales, sales of what, and can you do it? So what we did is we changed it to, specifically she has this health ebook that talks a lot about the benefits of coconut oil. So she wanted to double the sales of her book. Measurable. So she wanted to increase the revenue from her ebook from $10,000 to $20,000, which is pretty cool. But we weren't sure if 20 was actually achievable, so you can see that we changed it to 17,500. Is it actionable and within her control? So, what 3 steps could she actually take to make sure that it's on the path? So, create a new and exciting front cover, create a marketing plan, and in this case, she had 25 friends read it and then create a review on Amazon. Then she increased the price from $9.95 to $12.95. So realistic. So I spilled that one already. So increased the revenue from $10,000 to $17,500 to $20,000 is deemed not to be realistic for her. And then when did she want to have it done? November 30th, 2018. So her final goal, increase the revenue of her ebook from $10,000 to $17,500 by November 30th, 2018. Now, that's all well and good, but for it to be truly effective, goals must be written down. The research shows that written goals are more likely to be achieved. Now, there's 2 numbers floating about, 42 and 49%. I'm just going to 42 to be conservative. 42% of people are more likely to achieve their goals just by writing them down. Writing them down forces you to get clear on them. So here's a quote. I don't know who said it. That's why it says anonymous. Thoughts disentangle themselves, passing over the lips through pencil tips. Essentially, a piece of paper paper is concrete, more permanent than a thought. So when you put your goals in writing, that will help them become a reality. To your action item, write down 7 to 10 SMART goals. We're not going to pause right now for this one because you probably still need to get clear on what your broad strokes are for your goals. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your broad goals that were from the first action item and then turn them into SMART goals. So then, how challenging should your goals be? That's where step 3 comes in. You aim for discomfort. The fact is, nothing exciting happens in the comfort zone, and that's where we all hang out. Grand adventures, breakthrough results, the place where greatness happens, they live somewhere outside of the comfort zone. You don't go to bed dreaming about more email, which is where, I start my day some days. But maybe you dream about writing that book or traveling around the world. You'll never change your life until you step out of your comfort zone. Change begins at the end of your comfort zone. Now, I've got some friends who kind of live in the woo-woo zone, and they'll say that you need to hang around in the delusional zone, because there's like 3 zones. There's the comfort zone where most of us reside. There's the discomfort zone where things are a little exciting, you're living on the edge. And then there's the delusional zone where, you meditate, believe that you're going to manifest everything.
Sorry, that one makes me kind of chuckle, that delusional zone.
Well, you don't want to just sit there with your legs crossed and meditate, think that everything will show up in your lap?
Yeah. Have incense at the same time, but I think there's probably some portion of the meditation that helps, but staying in there, don't think it would work for me.
Take action.
Yeah.
Right. So unless, and so that's what the discomfort is, right? I mean, sometimes sometimes the discomfort zone means you're going to have to do something you've never done before, something you're not comfortable with doing. So if you want to improve, you want to get a new position at work. But the only way to get the new position at work is maybe to show that you have public speaking skills. So now you need to get in front of people and talk and have people see you where you were kind of hiding in the weeds before. Stepping into that realm of visibility is taking action, and it's definitely uncomfortable. But it's achievable. And you're not just sitting at your desk, thinking you'll get this promotion just by being, which is delusional. So the key to success is to aim higher than the bullseye because it takes into account the resistance that will invariably occur. And then there's 3 negative emotions that will come up that will cause resistance. The first one is fear. So that could be fear of public humiliation, fear of failure. The second one is uncertainty. You're not sure that you can see the path. Or doubt. Maybe you don't think you have the right experience, the resources, or whatever it takes to pursue the goal. But you know what? Experiencing these negative emotions are actually a positive sign that you're on the right path. You just need to reframe them. Because they're signposts that you are on the right path. You're where you want or need to be. So yes, they're negative emotions, but they're positive indicators. And if you don't feel any of these emotions, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt, then your goals are too small. So here's your action item. Make sure each of your goals are set in the discomfort zone. Okay, so step 4. Build in motivation or know your why. So few people do this, so this step is actually pretty vital. So how can you stay motivated? Like, this is when, life is piling crap on you and your goals over there, and this is when you hit those barriers, right? How do you get your motivation to stick around? It's easy to have passion and enthusiasm when you first set it, but as time goes on, it kind of wanes. So think about the gym. You go in January and you can't get a machine, or you can't get into the class, or you're waiting for someone to finish. The gym is so crowded you can hardly move. But you show up 2 months later, sometime in March, and you're almost there by yourself. The reason that this kind of stuff happens is because people don't set a compelling goal. The goal doesn't move them. No one perseveres or keeps moving forward unless they actually care about the goal. So you have to set goals that actually matter to you. And it's not enough to pursue something because it is important to somebody else. So let that sink in for a second. Just because it's important to someone else doesn't mean it's important to you, right? So think about parenting, getting fit, reaching a professional goal. If you're not connected to what's at stake, you will not keep your conviction up and stick to it through the messy middle. So ask yourself, why does it matter? When you pursue a meaningful goal, it's exhilarating. When you accomplish a meaningful goal, it's also exhilarating. But you'll short-circuit the goal if it's not meaningful to you. So here's some 4 attributes that will help make a goal compelling. So it could be spiritually meaningful. Not necessarily being a person of faith and accomplishing God's will, but is it connected to a bigger why? So, for example, maybe people do marathons to do fundraising for cancer research. Another attribute is that it's intellectually stimulating, like a puzzle that you need to figure out. Or it's emotionally energizing because it's bringing you joy. Or lastly, physically challenging because there's a rush that happens, that adrenaline, when you push yourself further than you thought you could. So your action item is list 3 reasons why each goal matters to you. If you're clear on 3 reasons why each goal matters to you, it'll give you the motivation to get through the messy middle. Now, how can you avoid overwhelm? If you're like the way I used to be, you set lofty goals, many, many, many lofty goals. And then the goals are too big, and then you procrastinate, and you get overwhelmed. Or you get overwhelmed or procrastinate. Doesn't really matter. It all happens. When we try to accomplish too many things at once, we don't accomplish anything at all. We're just sitting there spinning our wheels. And that's why this step is so important. Narrow your focus. It can be tough to do this. As you start working on improving your life, it's exciting as we uncover things. That's why it's tempting to set a ton of goals and have pages and pages, like 101 things I want to be, do, or have. The science says we can only focus on 7 to 10 things at a time. So, for example, let's just say you set a goal to get healthy. And then you come up with a ton of sub-goals like, lose weight, drink more water, get more sleep, work out 4 times a week, eat better, sit less, avoid fast food, get a personal trainer. That's a pretty big list. It makes me overwhelmed just thinking about all the things you have to do to get healthy. By the time you have 10 goals with all these complicated lists, it's no wonder you lose focus and accomplish very little. Remember, those who chase 2 rabbits catch neither. So you want to get clear on your most important priorities and set a goal for each of them, and then pursue them with laser focus. You want to focus on a handful of goals that you can repeat from memory. Because if you have, like the 101 things you want to do or have, you are not going to be able to run those off very quickly. But 7 or 10 goals, easier. But even being more focused can lead to greater success. So what I like to do is break down the 7 to 10 and choose a maximum of 2 to 3 to work on each quarter. So focused effort in one direction is more powerful than lots of effort in many directions. You can make massive headway quickly instead of incremental progress slowly. So your action item, choose 2 or 3 goals out of your 7 to 10 to focus on first. Once those are accomplished, you move on to the next batch. And it's okay if you actually finish one before the quarter's up. Go ahead. It's all good. You just add one back in. So now that you have a focused list of goals, your next question is probably, well, how do I get started? Well, the biggest problem most of us have in getting started achieving our goals is procrastination. And if the project is big or something you've never done before, it's way too easy to press the pause button and never start. High achievers know that procrastination is the true enemy. It's keeping them from what they want. And they've learned that excessive planning is often a fancy way to procrastinate. And that's why high achievers break big projects into bite-sized pieces. It's important to set goals, but eventually you have to get started if you want to have any hope in achieving the goal. You need to chunk it down into manageable pieces. You can accomplish something in less than a day, or in the most, a few days. If your goal's in this comfort zone, like we talked about before, the chunk or next step has to be in the comfort zone. So remember, there's the comfort zone, delusional zone. Make sure that the steps to getting to your goal are in the comfort zone. It has to be something that isn't difficult to do, because then you'll do it. So it could be like sending an email or making a phone call or setting up a meeting. Once you've done that, well, maybe the next step is prepare for the meeting. But still, setting up the meeting wasn't that big of a deal. Then you prepare for the meeting, and then you have the meeting, and incremental steps. High achievers focus on the next step. They don't get distracted by trying to figure out the whole path. High achievers know that the path will become clearer only when things are in motion. So, for example, I'll use me. I have a goal of weighing 135 pounds in 18 months. And that's a big goal for me, and, even as I say it out loud, my tummy gets a little anxious. So I turn that into lose 1 pound over the next 2 weeks. And instead of all the stuff like exercising and drinking more water and stuff that I mentioned before, I do one thing. I cut down sugar to 50 grams a day. And that was difficult. Apparently I ate a lot of sugar. But I didn't focus on anything else but watching my sugar intake. Then after I lost 5 pounds, I went to the next chunk, which was adding a little bit more exercise. And for me, that was getting my heart rate up for 10 minutes. It's not much in the grand scheme of things, but it was achievable, and it was in the comfort zone. And I didn't have to create an elaborate, excessive plan. Like, I have a friend who's like, okay, from 6:05 to 6:10, I'm going to swing kettlebells, and then I'm going to be going up and down the stairs in my house. It's crazy. You can hook yourself down into that level of minutia, but I really, like I said earlier, when you hyper plan, it's really just a form of procrastination. So your action items. Identify one next action step for each goal. So you've got your goals, you've made them smart. Now you're checking it down. How can I maintain momentum though? Well, tracking your progress. I don't know if you're like me, but if you've written down your goals and then you shoved it in a drawer and you never looked at them again, I know I've done it. That's why I can say that. What I do now is I write out my top 10 goals and I color code them. So the top 3, the next 3, and the next 3, and so on for each quarter. And then I have it printed out. And I have I think I got it at the dollar store actually. It's like a plexiglass clipboard. And I just keep it on a stand beside my monitor screen. And so every day I sit at my computer and my goals are right in my face. To be successful, you need to review your goals, but you also need to track your progress on a regular basis, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Otherwise, it becomes out of sight and out of mind. That's why you need a clear plan to make your goals visible. You can read your goals out loud every day. You can print them out like I just said. There's stuff. There's lots of techniques out there on how to keep your goals front and center. So your action item on this one is determine how you will track your goals. So if it's, my goal of weighing 135, a weekly weigh-in. I actually use an app. I forget what it's called because it's on my phone and I just hit a button. But use an app and tap on it. It actually reminds me every week to do my weekly weigh-in. It also tracks my food, stuff like that. That's how I know how many grams of sugar I've consumed, which is now down to 25 a day, by the way, if you're curious. Okay. I'm rambling. The steps. So here's what we've covered. So first we'll go over one single strategy that will make you 40% more likely to accomplish your goals is to write them down. The beliefs you may have that are holding you back: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then the dimensions to consider when setting your goals. I gave you mine, and I'll just tell you them again. So it's important relationships, friendships, adventures, environment, health and fitness, intellectual life, skills, spiritual life, finances, career, business, creative life, and community contributions. And then how to set SMART goals, where my definition of SMART is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-bound. And lastly, the goal has to be important to you. Now the 7 steps: clarify your priorities, write SMART goals, aim for discomfort, build in motivation, narrow your focus, determine next steps, and track your progress.
Michelle, I think it's Susie here. The pieces that I found that were incredibly powerful for me were the aim for discomfort and also looking at the dimensions and why, how it fits in and making sure. So that's what made it different from just your regular SMART goals and next steps and monitoring your progress. All the steps are really important, but the aiming for discomfort, how it fits in with those different dimensions, and then giving yourself motivation against each one in the different, spiritual, intellectual, those were very powerful tools for me to help me be a better goal setter.
Thank you. That's good to hear. The truth is, no matter what's going on around you, at this point, 2018 is a blank canvas. So if you take any of the dimensions or create your own, it's an open slate for you to improve.
Right, and I'm glad I started it now because it's not something I can do at noon on December 31st. It's going to take some brain power.
Yeah. Well, and it's good that we're going to do this again in January so that the folks that didn't get it done on December 31st can do it then.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's see. Before we go, are there any questions? I don't see any, but I don't see the whole chat box.
Yeah, I don't think there's any questions. I think people are busy writing down the notes.
accomplished your 7 to 10 goals. Imagine getting to the end of the year knowing that you've accomplished what matters most because you got clear on your priorities at the beginning, right? What will it feel like when you've lost 20 pounds or 70 pounds, or you now have a weekly date night with your significant other, or you're spending time with your kids, or you got that promotion? Imagine pulling on the jeans you have on now and you're swimming in them.
I still have my college jeans. I'm just saying. The ones I wore in university. That would be an accomplishment.
That would be. Okay, imagine getting to the end of 2018 having read 2 dozen books. Because remember earlier I said if you read half an hour a day, you're going to be better off than anybody else. And what did you learn from those books and how did they impact your professional life? What would it be like to take your important relationship to the next level? Imagine a life where you couldn't wait to get home to be with your spouse. Imagine knowing and being known by your spouse. Or what would it be like to have money left over at the end of the month? Think of what it would like to be debt-free, owing nothing to anyone. What would it be like to have the money that meets your expenses, protects you from the unexpected, and still have some left over to invest in the future? Now, why did you decide to attend this webinar? There's probably a few reasons. You want to live a life that matters and reach your potential. There's just too much to do so little time, and there's stuff that's falling through the cracks, and you want to fix that. Or you know you're capable of more, but it just feels like time's running out. Or maybe you just don't want to survive anymore. You want to make meaningful progress towards something that matters. Anyway, there's a reason why you were interested, registered, and showed up. There's something big in your future, something big in 2018. But you're at crossroads and you need to figure out what to do. So the way I see it is you have 3 choices. You can quit altogether because goal setting is useless and you've tried it before. You can continue just doing it alone, hoping to get better results. Or you can let me help you get better results by getting regular accountability coaching. Do you really have time to figure it out on your own? I understand how hard it can be. I have 2 kids, I have 2 businesses, I have volunteer work, and it seems to never end. But you know what? It can be done. Traditional goal setting is pretty much broken. It's not about setting the goals, it's about focusing on what's important. I think I've mentioned that a few times during the presentation. Now I can help you figure out what's important and break it down to those chunks to keep you accountable along the way. So what have you done before? Maybe you haven't invested in yourself like this before. Think about gym memberships you signed up for and never used. Imagine what your life would look like this time next year if you accomplished even half of your goals. So what is accountability coaching? It's a service I offer, which is customized and created for the person who's absolutely committed to making sure that they come through on their goals. You get one-on-one calls or video Skype sessions or whatever, whichever your preference is, that will hold you accountable to your goals and keep you focused on your benchmarks and the habits that you've set for yourself. Who uses accountability coaching? Career-minded professionals, people in transition, entrepreneurs, business owners, freelancers, and anyone who wants success in reaching their goals. What do you get with it? You get some clarity on your goals. You get an action plan. Weekly accountability check-ins, which it's like answering to your boss or your mom. You set these goals, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z this week, and as the deadline looms for having your weekly check-in, you will crush all those things that you're supposed to get done because you don't want to show up and say I didn't get it done. In addition to that, you'll get feedback and brainstorming solutions in case you do get stuck. And then there's email support and one-on-one coaching. So Jumpstart 2018 is 90 days of coaching. This is my program for this year. There's some science behind the 90 days, but we're not going to go into that right now. What will it look like? Well, there's a pre-coaching discovery, so you do a survey so that we're on the same song sheet right from the beginning. Then there's a clarity session where we get clear on your goals and create your roadmap. Then there's the weekly accountability sessions. We have 30 minutes each week to keep you focused and on track. You have email access when you're stuck. And then there's a SMART goals worksheet that we will work on to write your goals the smart way. As you can see, for the people on the street, the price is a little higher, but for those who are with Avanti Women, it's $397. If that seems a little steep, we have a payment plan of $150 per month plus HST. If this is something that you're interested in, for those of you who are interested in this kind of work, sign up for a complimentary call with me. You can, if you see at the bottom of the slide, there's access to my calendar where we can have a 30-minute complimentary chat to see if accountability coaching is right for you. I'll also provide you with my email address and my phone number so you can reach me in any way.
Well, thank you so much. I think that's a great offer. And where you talked about gym memberships, there's so many people who will sign up for a gym membership or a new fitness device or a fancy blender that's going to help them with their health goals, and they don't use. And this is something that I think the money would be well spent. So it's a great offer for Avanti Women. So thank you very much. And to claim that, they would just get in touch with your book time in your calendar. Is that correct?
Yeah, or they could call me or email me. It all works.
Perfect. So I believe we're at the end of our webinar, and I wanted to let people know, because we had some people who unfortunately joined a little late, that we will be recording this, and you'll see on the Avanti Women website a link to the recording, but we will also have this session presented again in January. And I don't have off the top of my head what date that is, but it will be a similar webinar where we go through the entire process, where you'll have a chance to list your priorities and write SMART goals and start your plan with Michelle walking you through it. So I thank you very much for your presentation, and people who joined on, even if you joined on a little bit late, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, you can email Michelle, or you can email myself, Susie at avantiwomen.com. And I think we'll close this off because we are running a little bit over. So thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone who's taken the time to join in and make themselves a priority this year. If you're interested in working with me, there's my contact information. And lastly, thank you, all my friends at Avanti Women, for inviting me to do this goal-setting webinar today. It was a privilege and a pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you. Any questions before we close off? No. Great. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to close this off and stop the recording, and hopefully we'll see you on another webinar, and talk to you soon, Michelle.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.